Hey guys, Tony Whiteside at CHC. We was Dylan Newby put up a tank mod for a bladder tank for the 90. Well, it pretty much all applies to for the 50 Trex also, but you're gonna have to be careful with cutting this hoe out. So what you'll do is get online, eBay or whatever, or hobby shop, and get a Sullivan tank stopper. They kind of look like a little wood piece, but actually it's rubber, and it'll come with these little brass tubing and stuff like that. And one side you'll pinch off and fill it up solid with solder, and just get it to where you poke, where you can stop it up from one side to the other. Here's one I already got made up. That's full of solder actually. It looks like crap, but anyway, that's full of solder, so it's stopped up, and you'll run that through in there, and then you'll run another piece and have probably a 1/2 inch hanging out the front and probably a 1/4 inch plus hanging out in the back for your fuel tubing for the inside. Also with the stopper cut on the back side of that stopper, cut you about a 72 millimeter piece of fuel tubing. Works about right for me. When you're cutting your fuel tubing, something I did, because a lot of people are trying to stab and worried about pieces getting left over, just kind of fold your tubing, grab a pair of scissors, start cutting the corners like that. Just be careful of how much you're cutting out, and just kind of roll it around and get different areas. You know, cut you a corner off, get you another hoe. Just make sure you get a hoe. I just messed that up, but I'm just giving you an idea. So basically, you want to keep cutting it like that at 72 millimeters for your 50 Trex, and get it looking like Swiss cheese, like that. And one thing, you'll have 2 plastic pieces come with those stoppers, guy, and a screw comes through, and once it sandwiches it up, that you tighten that screw up, it'll sandwich it up and put pressure on these walls right here and keeps it from leaking once you got your balloon on. But I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to put that in there. And if that screw's sticking over, grind that off, guys, in the back, so you don't catch your balloon coming through. And I pull this over the front about 1 inch because the tank's smaller for a 90 on a 50 than it is the 90. So I want the balloon to have more pressure and more room.
Plus, we're running a 12-inch helium grade balloon.
Good job, D. Something I want to mention. Yep, what he just said. This party balloon, basically.
Yeah, you can get them at Party City. They're 12-inch helium grade.
So
you can pick your color. It doesn't matter. We pick black just because that's what we want. If you want to see your fuel, you can get a white one.
Okay, so the most important thing too with this Trex is making this video, and we're going to get to it right now, is take this. You see how the hoe is right here? You do not want to Dremel on this side because it's too close to the frame once you put the tank in. So what you want to do is take the bottom of the stopper, the smallest diameter, put it down here, and get it back 1 millimeter or 2 away from this hoe right here. Trace it with a pencil like I did. Get you some Dremel wheels, nothing fancy. It'll work fine. If you want to be fancy, use whatever you like. But this is just a rough cut sanding wheel, and just take your time with it and get it to the line. And then what you'll do once you get your balloon on and you get this out, so you do not want to go past the original hoe towards the inside tank.
Because it'll end up hitting the frame.
Yeah, because
when it sits in there.
Yeah, and it sits in there. Hang on, guys. I just CA'd this, so it's kind of rough. So when it gets in there, you can see how close that is to the frame. So you're like, crap type thing, you know, it's hard to get your tank in. Now you can want to Dremel out some of the frame or something like that. You can do that, but I did not. Actually, when I made this here, I took and ground out the side enough to where it would let me get my tank in on the stopper, so you can do that as well. So there's 2 different, you know, things you can do here. You can grind the frame. I prefer not to. I wanted to grind my stopper. So when I get this in, I just make sure it's 90, so when I put the tank in, that it's fine. So, and so I'm gonna get to the last thing here, guys. I just messed this balloon up, but for the sake of the video, we're gonna keep trucking. Once you get this balloon edge out about 1 inch or so past this, you're gonna squeeze all the air out of that, get it in there. And this is something you're gonna be doing while you're drilling the hole for the one you're cutting. You wanna make sure that it's not too tight trying to get it in there, just to where it's snug. And for some reason, I'm having a little trouble here. But yeah, there it goes. But anyway, you just want to get it snug, but you don't want to have to force it in to where it cuts your balloon in. But as soon as you feel like it's snug and it's not going to be damaging the balloon on the way in, you want to stop the hoe, smooth it out, and stuff like that, and get it nice and smooth so when you crank it down, it doesn't cut the balloon. So, like I said, you want the flat spot on the inside, like that, and make sure that you grind your hoe out towards the tank as far as possible. So that will do really well for your 50. Mine's running great, at least 15 plus power consistency. I had to lean my needle in about 3/4 of a turn. That shows you how much more fuel it's getting versus air trying to get more fuel, because these things just storm like crazy.
The other thing about getting your air out of your balloon, I would say get a syringe to be able to pull the air out of the balloon.
Yep.
Before you want to be fueling. You can also be blowing in the top where you get your pressure. You can blow in that and suck out with a syringe, so that you don't have zero air in your fuel system before you fuel it up.
Yeah. And there's a little thing, guys. People thinking, well, mine runs great without it. This shaking the whole time. You see it storming. There's all this air in there. It's trying to get fuel, and it's jumping around, it's grabbing air and all that. With this system, you're going to get one thing: pure fuel, no air whatsoever. That engine's loving you. It's running cooler. It's not starving. It's getting everything she wants. So anyway, guys, that's how you would mod that. That's the most important thing, like we said, is make sure that hose all the way over to the side and stuff like that. Thanks.